we had a warrant service at a house, and gang problems within the city of Santa Maria very prevalent at the time. They were always either shooting each other, stabbing each other, killing each other, that kind of stuff. It was going down. So they were looking for this guy who was involved with a bunch of gang-related stuff. He was also related to some MS-13 stuff, which is a big gang movement, even within the country. So they got wind that this guy was held up at this house, and that he was going to be there because they were throwing a party that night. So they get a warrant to search the house, and they were going to hit it at 4 o'clock in the morning, because the typical hours of serving those kinds of warrants is somewhere between 3 and 6 a.m. because that's when those idiots are all sleeping, right? Or they're coming down off of their high and not doing anything. So they let me know that they're going to do a warrant service, and they want to know if I want to be there with the dog. Hell yeah, I want to go, right? So I'm working a shift. They start their briefing at 2 o'clock in the morning for the warrant service. I wasn't included in that, which later on I kind of made some changes because it's a learning curve, right? To everybody working together. So they're going to hit the house. They decide we're going to hit it at 3:30 instead of 4, because they were afraid that this guy that they were looking for had gotten wind about something happening. So, okay, SWAT guys get all swatted up and drive over there. I get there, and now mind you that in those days, canine dogs or canine handlers with their dogs didn't really interact too much with SWAT teams just yet. It was just kind of on the forefront, and people were thinking about doing it at some point in time, but it wasn't anything that we as a police department in Santa Maria, or myself with my dog, or the SWATers were ready for. But we kind of threw it together, right? We had all of those things in our pot, and we took those two things out of there, and we threw them together because we needed to get this asshole off the street, right? So they get there, I'm there waiting, we come up with a plan, they tell me who the guy is. They had gotten info from a CI, and a CI is a confidential informant, that the guy is actually in the house. And there's 4 or 5 other people in the house as well. So the plan was to, instead of doing a knock and go in and find the guy, they're going to give him a chance to give himself up, which I thought was a little bit weird at first, because why would you announce yourself that you're there in a SWAT configuration and not just go in and get the guy, right? So they do that. They call into the house, and they were using the guys that were working patrol for graveyards to take up the perimeter positions, because we didn't have a lot of officers. Santa Maria only had 90 officers total. So you take 6 or 7 SWAT guys out of that, and some of those guys were graveyard workers too. You lose cops. And we had to have a perimeter because we knew somebody was going to bail, right? So all of the graveyard guys were on the perimeter, on fence lines. Had the place contained, they made the calls in. They talked to, I think it was a gal that was in the house. She confirmed that he was there, There was 5 other people there, and a couple more females were in the house, and they gave him the chance to give up. So they ended up getting everybody out of the house. The last person that came out of the house, because all the ones that came out of the house was not the asshole that they were looking for, right? And he knew that he was wanted. So they get everybody out of the house. The last guy that comes out of the house, they pull him aside and they question him, where's the guy we're looking for? He's in there. And he's not giving up. He made it very clear he's not coming out. He no terms, said, I'm not giving up. You're gonna have to come in here and get me. Okay. So SWAT plan number 2, right? We're gonna use the dog to find him because it's a 2-story house. Front door, when you look in, stairs going up, landing, stairs going up to the 2nd story, bedrooms, bathrooms upstairs, downstairs, kitchen, living room, dining room, bathroom, and like an office room off to the right as you're looking into the front door. So we come up with a plan. We want to use the dog to find the guy. We don't know if he's got a gun. He's probably got access to a gun. He's definitely got access to some type of weapon, and we don't know where he is. So SWAT guys get all swatted up with their helmets and their tactical vests and all that stuff, and here I am, patrol officer in my BDU uniform, no helmet, no tactical vest, nothing, right? And they put me at the head of the stack. And the stack means SWAT officers lined up behind each other with weapons over the top of each one, right? And I had a guy covering me with a long gun who spent more time looking at the dog than he did looking into the house, which I ended up yanking on him going, stop watching the dog, look in the house, and watch my ass, right? He did. We get to the door, and my dog knows what's going on, right? He's got that, what I later on called that look. His eyes start bulging out, and he's just going back and forth, and he starts whining a little bit, and I yank on him to shut up, right? My approach to, now mind you, this is my first deployment with a dog, right? I had really no idea what the hell he was gonna do, right? But I was playing it off really cool, right? With all the other guys, here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna stand here, and the dog's gonna go do, and I'm hoping, yeah, this is all gonna really go down the way I say it's gonna go down. So I get down on one knee, I got my cover SWAT guy over the top of me. Everybody's got their instructions as to what's gonna happen when we go in, right? I make 2 announcements. My announcements were always the same, and one of the things that I vowed to myself was I don't care whether you're bilingual or not, I'm not making a Spanish announcement, which later on down in my career, that all kind of changed across the board, across the spectrum for canine handling in general, just because of legal issues. Santa Maria Police Department Canine, come out now or I'll send in the dog. Simple, right? That's what I was taught. Don't make your announcements too long, just keep it simple. That was my first one. Santa Maria Police Department Canine, come out now or I'll send in the dog. Second one, about 5 seconds later. Nothing. Unclicked the leash, held him by the collar, and my dog was trained in German commands because I speak German, right? And most dogs, when you get them, they're trained in the language that they're trained in commands from the country that they're trained in. So they don't speak a language, but they listen to voice deflection, right? So I retrained my dog in German commands because I can speak the commands properly and he knows what that sounds like. Carry on. Dog, hand under the flat collar. I'm listening, nothing, and I give him a voran in German, which means go out, which in his head means go search, right? Pew, gone, right? Everybody wants to do that and go in after him. I put my hands up and go, no, stop. I'm not yelling, but I'm making it clear. Do not go in the house, right? He's in there going back and forth, into this room, into the kitchen, into the office. Stops at the stairs, kind of looks up, but keeps going. And to me, trigger, right? Because I've learned to watch for those indicators that my dog throws to me that's not normal, right? Look for anything that doesn't look normal. And there's a lot of things that a dog will throw at you indicator-wise that don't look normal, right? That was one of them for me because it was instant. His head turned and he keeps going. So he comes back out of the office. I get him actually, surprisingly enough, to lay down at the bottom of the stairs, and I thought, oh fuck, that's really cool. So the guys behind me are all like, holy shit, that's really badass, right? So we go in. I go into where my dog is, I stop, and I let them do their SWAT tactical searching because a dog is good, but it's not perfect. Dogs miss people because they're in drive, because the person hidden really well, or they're just not somewhere where they can get a good odor on them to bark at them, right? Because the philosophy in a dog, even if you're standing behind a door and the door is shut, is for the dog to sniff the seams of the door and get that odor of human, and to not try to open the door, but sit there and bark at it to let me know, hey, the guy's in here, right? We didn't get any of that at any of the closet doors or anything like that. So tactically speaking, they had to go in and search the whole bottom of the house, right? So that took a little bit of time. I'm sitting at the bottom of the stairs. Don't find the guy, so he's got to be in here. They said he's in here and he's not coming out. He's got to be upstairs. Upstairs consisted of 3 bedrooms and 1 full bathroom. So plan is, stairs go up this way to a landing and then double back to behind us where there's the opening hall to the hallway for upstairs, right? So I'm thinking from a standpoint of, all right, I don't already have anything on to really protect myself, especially my melon. If this idiot is up here at the top of the stairs and he's got a gun, I'm gonna get cooked, right? When I go up there, because I'm just wearing a uniform, right? So I make another announcement at the bottom of the stairs only because the guy knows that we searched the whole bottom of the house and we're coming for him. I'm gonna give you one more chance, right? Santa Maria Police Department Canine, come out now, or I'm going to send the dog. No second announcement, because I don't want to give us up, right? I send the dog, he goes up the stairs, and he doesn't stop at the top of the stairs, which indicates to me that the guy's not standing right there, right? So, from a tactical standpoint, we have to get ourselves up to the top of the stairs, right? So, I go up because I'm handling the dog. I had 2 cover officers, 1 on each side, gunning the upstairs. We make it to the top of the stairs, right? Dog's actively searching. He's going into the rooms. There's 1 bedroom that the door was closed, which initially he didn't show an indicator on that door. He searches everything, comes back, comes out of the bathroom, and he's swinging his head from left to right, but it's also going in a circle. So I'm thinking, something's something's up here, right? So the first thing I thought is, he's got to be in that bedroom. He's just not indicating to me with a bark, right? So we make our way up to that bedroom door. I crack the door, let him stick his nose in the seam. He sniffs and he goes in, searches it, it's empty. So now I'm in a quandary because where is this guy, right? I know he's here. They said he's here. And I know he didn't get out because we got perimeter guys that have seen nobody come out. They've listened to us going through the house systematically to find this guy. And I look up backwards, attic access, right? And I look at my two swatters that are with me and I go, he's up there. And they go, shit. How are we going to get up there? And I go, get me a chair. I'm going to put the dog on my shoulder, right? So we did a little bit of learning in the Canine Academy of how to pick up a dog and put him on your shoulder. Do you think I ever practiced that when I got back? I forgot about it, right? So I'm thinking, he's either going to bite me or he's going to take to it and just go with it, right? Hoping for the second one. Don't bite me in the face or I'm going to look stupid, right? So they go, really? You're going to put him up in the attic? And I go, yeah, I'm putting him up in the attic because the guy's up there, right? So they get a chair, I get up on the chair, and the whole time I'm thinking, this is one of those things that one of the questions comes up. Could I redo this in a better way? 100 times over, right? So I get on the chair, or I grab my dog, I pick him up, and I huck him up onto my shoulder, and I've got him by the collar. His head is right here, right? And he's going, what the hell are you doing to me right now? The chair wasn't quite tall enough, so they had a ballistic shield, right? So, and this is all kind of happening within seconds of each other, right? So I go, okay, put the ballistic shield, just hold the ballistic shield, and I wasn't as heavy as I am now, right? So I get on the ballistic shield, they kind of push me up, and I get up there just to where the top of my melon is kind of in the opening. I pushed the board away, the drywall to the side. And it took, so the way it's supposed to work is you're supposed to take the dog by the collar and just huck him up into the hole, right? So I did that, and he actually took his back legs and put them on my shoulder and just pushed himself off of me, and he's in the attic, right? So most people understand that an attic is nothing but 2x4s, insulation, and drywall on the ceiling, right? Which can support a dog, but then I started thinking, if the guy's up there and he gets a hold of the guy, how the hell are we going to get him out, right? With it instantaneously, within the dog going up and into the hole, all I hear is screaming. He's got the guy by the arm, right? And it's in kind of that back corner where that bedroom door was closed, right? That's where he got him, which is why the dog was doing this when he was going past there, because he was picking up the odor of him because he's up there and he's sweating like a pig, right? Giving off the odor. So he's up there biting him, right? So I'm thinking now, shit, I got to get to him, but I don't know if he's got a gun available to him or if he's got a knife. I know that the dog's on him. I'm not thinking about him. I'm not thinking anything along the lines of he's going to kill my dog. Didn't even cross my mind, right? So I look at Mark Strecker, SWAT guy. I will remember it forever. I look at him and I go, get me up there in this hole. And he goes, what if the guy's got a fucking gun? You can't go up there, right? I go, I have to get to him, right? Just do it. So, and now it's been going on for what seems to me and the other guys an eternity, right? He's up there flailing around with his dog, biting him, and I'm trying to get myself up in there to get to him. So I get up there, and going back to my construction years, I know that if I think I can walk on this shit, forget it. I'm gonna fall through somewhere, right? So I'm doing the crawl over the ceiling joists to get myself over, consistently yelling at the guy to give up and stop fighting the dog, stop fighting the dog. Well, the swatters have all their stuff on. They can't get up there. So they get up. Two guys end up going up with me, and now they're crawling over there, right, with their long guns and their helmets and their ballistic vests and all that stuff. And all three of us and the dog and this idiot are in the corner over this bedroom, right? He's flailing around. The other swatters now make their way over to the bedroom because something's got to give somewhere, right? So, and this happened in a split second. All it took was for that guy to fall between two of the ceiling joists, and the other swatters had just opened the door into the bedroom. The ceiling caves in. The whole circumference of the room, not just one little piece, the whole thing, right? So the two swatters fall down between the rafters. The guys that are standing in the room, the swatters, get hit with a drywall. I'm sitting over the top of the ceiling joists, holding myself up, and the dog's hanging on the idiot who's hanging by his hands, dog on his arm, right? Now what, right? So there's dust and shit everywhere, right? And it's loud because we're all screaming, right? It has gone to hell in there, right? So the SWAT guys break themselves free of whatever's fallen out of the ceiling, the insulation, all of that stuff. They've got him gunned now with their long guns, telling him to let go of the rafters, right? Let go, come down, all of that stuff. And I'm thinking, that's not a good idea because the dog's hanging on him, right? If the dog's not used to being in that type of, and I was surprised he held on that long. If a dog's not used to being in that kind of environment, he's gonna pop off because he's falling. Dogs don't have a perception of depth, right? They naturally will let go of whatever they have in their mouth and just fall, right? But when they hit bottom, they're gonna find something because he's in drive to latch onto. So I'm in the attic. I lower myself down, breaking up the drywall underneath us. They've got him gunned. The two swatters that are up there now are making their way down as well. I grab onto the ass end of my dog, and I grab him by the collar, and I tell the guy, let go of the fucking rafters now. He lets go. We come to the ground, and I do what is called in the canine world a hard out on a dog, where you take the leather collar and you cinch it up around their jaws to, you're not choking them out, but you're causing them to lose air, and they naturally will open their mouth to get them off. They go in, hook the guy up, and it was over. We had the guy. And he actually didn't have access to a gun or anything, luckily for myself, because what happens is you go and you relive it over, right? Once you come down off of that high, and there's a lot of things that needed to change after that day, but it was the bitchinest thing ever, because the SWAT guys were so happy about the fact that the dog actually went in and did what he was supposed to do, and we got the guy and nobody got hurt. And the best thing that I remember about that call is talking to the guys on the perimeter who were all just patrol guys. And they came up to me later and they go, man, we were all standing there and we were listening and we were watching, making sure that nobody came out. And all we heard was you making the announcement and the dog going in there, and then all like crashing and banging and flashlights. And we were like, yeah, he's got him.